What is sarcomatoid mesothelioma? And why should you care? Sarcomatoid mesothelioma is the most aggressive form of mesothelioma. Most patients live between 3 to 8 months without treatment. But here's what's interesting. New research shows immunotherapy may give these patients the same survival advantage as patients with less aggressive types. That is what I will cover in today's video. Hi, I'm Deborah from Surviving Mesothelioma, and for almost 20 years, we have been helping mesothelioma patients understand their options. Okay, so what is sarcomatoid mesothelioma? Sarcomatoid refers to one cell type of mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a cancer caused by asbestos exposure, and there are 4 types of mesothelioma based on where it developed in your body. So pleural in the lungs, peritoneal in the abdomen, pericardial in the heart, and then testicular in the testicles. Then each type of mesothelioma can be broken down into its cell type. And there are 3 main cell types of mesothelioma based on how the cancer cells look under a microscope: epithelioid, biphasic, and sarcomatoid. Sarcomatoid is what we are going to be covering in today's video. And while it is typically associated with shorter survival times, new research is changing what we thought was possible. Okay, here is what makes sarcomatoid cells different. Unlike epithelioid cells that stick together like grapes, sarcomatoid cells are shaped like spindles and they don't stick together well. And this makes them harder to remove with surgery and more likely to spread quickly. So this is why traditional treatments like surgery often don't work as well. But not all cases are the same. And here's where it gets really interesting. A 2019 study from Australia found something remarkable. When sarcomatoid patients received immunotherapy, 80% of them were still alive after 3 years. This is huge because historically, most sarcomatoid patients live only 3 to 8 months after diagnosis. Recent research has completely changed what we thought we knew about treating sarcomatoid mesothelioma. So here are some things to speak to your doctor about. And number 3 is good news, as you're gonna see. Right, number 1, surgery may not be a good option as a standalone treatment. According to multiple studies, for example, the ones in the Journal of Surgical Research and Clinical Lung Cancer, both suggest that doing surgery by itself when you have sarcomatoid mesothelioma does not significantly improve a patient's survival time. Number 2, traditional chemotherapy may not work as well for sarcomatoid mesothelioma. So several studies also show that chemotherapy alone does not improve survival times past 1 year, but it depends on whether or not the mesothelioma has spread to other organs. When sarcomatoid mesothelioma hasn't spread to other parts of the body, doctors have a better chance of treating it. But once it's spread to like distant organs, it really becomes much harder to treat and the outcomes aren't as good. Number 3, immunotherapy is showing a lot of promise for sarcomatoid mesothelioma. Okay, so finally, for some good news, a 2020 study looked at a new type of treatment called immunotherapy for sarcomatoid mesothelioma. Here's what they found. They studied 22 patients with immunotherapy drugs. 6 of these patients had sarcomatoid mesothelioma. The sarcomatoid patients lived more than 28 months with this treatment, and that is over 2 years of survival time. This is much better than patients with other types of mesothelioma who only lived about 11 months. But what made the difference? The researchers found that sarcomatoid patients had more immune cells in their tumors. So think of it like having more soldiers that are ready to fight the cancer when the immunotherapy drugs arrive. Another thing that they found in that 2020 study is that patients did better when they got immunotherapy first before trying other treatments like chemotherapy. But what can you do with all of this information? If I had sarcomatoid mesothelioma, here are the steps that I would take. Step 1, I would get confirmation. First, I would get a second opinion from a mesothelioma specialist. A 2014 study showed that pathologists agree on sarcomatoid diagnoses 72% of the time. So confirmation is important. I would really want to be sure about my diagnosis. so that I could make the right choices. Step 2, I would ask about immunotherapy first. I would specifically ask about drugs called ipilimumab and nivolumab. Okay, these are some of the immunotherapy drugs that are showing promise. Studies show they work better than traditional chemotherapy for sarcomatoid patients. All right, step 3, I would discuss these questions with my doctor. Am I a candidate for immunotherapy? Should we try immunotherapy before considering other treatments? Are there any clinical trials combining immunotherapy with other treatments? What's my PD-L1 status? I would ask this because it can help predict how well immunotherapy might work. And then step 4, I would focus on my overall health. I'd try to maintain my weight with proper nutrition. I would tell my doctors about any changes. I would stay active. I would work with a licensed professional who has worked with cancer patients before, and I would definitely report any new symptoms to my doctors immediately. Want to learn more about immunotherapy for sarcomatoid mesothelioma? We have got over 70 years of combined experience helping mesothelioma patients. Click the link in the description and schedule a call with one of our friendly team. It is completely free. And there we have it. That's all I've got for you today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates on the latest mesothelioma research. Stay strong. I'm going to see you in the next video.